Not. Can you check on your phone if it is showing that we are live? And I have to disable notifications. Hello. Hey, I was high. I think that what's it? Hello, man. I'm saying this. Internet good. Close this browser. Okay, look at that. I forgot the audio. Thank you so much. So let's continue from where we left off. I know last time the internet was so bad and that couldn't make us do a lot of things. But this time, we're going to do something amazing. I want you to follow along. Even if you missed the first session or the second session, you have nothing to worry about. I got you. And I'm going to take you through from the beginning. I'm going to help you set up and get back to where we are before I take us from what we have for today. So buckle your seatbelt, get your laptop ready, and then let's jump straight into this. I'm sharing my screen now, and then we can go ahead with this. So what I'm going to do is that I have you covered, like I said. If you look in the link in the description right now, for those of you who are on LinkedIn, you might not have access to this, but I'm going to share with you this GitHub repo. So I'm putting a link in the description here. So if you're on YouTube, you can just click on the link below and you have access to it. If you are on LinkedIn as well, you can, I don't know if it comes in the comment section or whatever part it comes in, please do also click on that link as well. Okay, so there's a link, and if you click on this link, it's going to take you to a GitHub page like this. And what I have here, what I have on this page is that I've only brought the HTML which we wrote in the last session, and I've brought along all the pictures that we are going to need for this session. So I've brought all of these two and I'm putting it together for us to make this happen. So please, if you click on this link, it will bring you to this simple looking page with nothing here but just HTML and then our assets. If you look in the assets side, I'm just exploring there with you. You find out that we have a lot of the pictures and a couple of other things. But once again, let's look at what we are going to do. Sorry, I was showing just my face. So if you look at the green button here which says code, all right, you click on the arrow beside it. It gives you a lot of options here, but I don't want to make this complicated, so let's just click on the download zip. All right, so let's click on download zip. It's going to download all the files that we have here, and that is what we are going to use as our basis to do everything that we are going to do here. Just stick with me, I got you. I'm going to take you through this. All right, so I have it downloaded neatly. I'm going to open my downloads here. So there's my downloads, and you can see I have this folder right here. So I'm going to click on it and I'm going to extract it. I don't know what you are using to extract. If you are using 7-zip, great. If you are using WinRAR2, great. But just try to extract to your desktop. I want to extract to my desktop. Okay, so I'm going to extract it right there. Okay, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Okay, no, I don't think this is it. Ah, let me see. No, that's not it. Um, okay, yeah, so this is it. So it has a folder free portfolio starting main. All right, and if I open that, you can see we have our index, that's the HTML file, and then we have also our assets. So in our assets folder, we have all of the pictures that we use for the HTML as well as the fav icons. Okay, so that is the very first step, and I need you to do this so that you can be able to follow along with me. So I'm going to minimize everything here, including my browser, and I'm going to open VS Code from the beginning, just like you are also going to open it. But guys, if you are just tuning in, do also drop a like on this video. It means a lot for the algorithm so that people who also need this can be able to find this. And if you think you know anybody who will benefit from this, please do well to share the link with them so that they can also join us. And I want to know where you are watching this video from. So in the comment section, I want you to drop your location. I am watching from Ghana. I think I have to take the lead with this, right? So I'm just going to say I am watching from Ghana. Today there's been a little delay, that's why my background and everything, my lighting and everything is bad. But I was still not going to mess this out, right? So I have to be here. Please tell me where you're watching this video from. Share the link with anybody you think will find it valuable. If you share this to your WhatsApp status, that will be a great one to support the community here that you and I are trying to build here. Let's get back to the video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open VS Code. Yeah, I'm going to open VS Code. I'm going to open VS Code, and when you open VS Code, okay, right, it will probably show you a welcome page like this with a lot of things that you don't care about. Okay, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go to file. Look, I was lost for a moment. I'm going to go to file, and I'm going to go to open folder. Okay, it's important that you do this. Don't open a file, you're opening a folder. Okay, you want to open the folder, and let's navigate all the way to desktop like we did earlier. If you go to desktop, we have my free portfolio starting main. We have it right here. That's where we extracted the code that we downloaded from GitHub from. Okay, so I'm going to click on that and I'm going to say select folder. All right, and voila, so we have everything right here. We've downloaded everything. So in here we can see all the HTML that we wrote from last time. Don't worry, I'll explain as we are going through. and then we have all the assets that we are going to be needing. Okay, so yeah, we have all the assets, we have the logo, we have the portfolio and everything here. So if you follow from here, you will not really miss out on anything. Once again, drop a like and let's continue. So the next thing I would want us to do is that in the click on the index.html and then look at the top, this icon that says new file. Okay, let's click on that and then let's do style.css. All right, so we are creating our CSS file. It is very important because that's what we are doing for today. We are 7 minutes in and then you are following. You are doing great. Okay, so style.css and then, but before we can do anything, what I want us to do is that we have to install a few extensions. Extensions are like tools that make our work and life easier. I like easy shortcuts. All right, so I use extensions to make my life easy. All right, so let's look at how we can download a few extensions that will speed up things for us. If you look at this brick metrics, is it metrics or matrix? I don't even know what it looks. This brick looking thing, right? You can click on that just to open the extensions tab, and we are going to install extensions that are going to make things easier for us. All right, so the first one I'm going to install is, I'm going to call this one live server. I think that might be the only extension that, like, only number one extension that if you don't have right now, you might not be able to follow. I promise you. So please do want to download it. All right, so I'm going to click on this. I already have it installed. If you don't have it installed, you see install at the bottom right corner here, so you can click on that and have yours installed as well. How is my lighting, guys? Let me know in the comment section below. So you install that immediately, and the next extension that I want you to install will be, let me just check. Let me just check let me just check. Okay, good. So they are here. So these are the extensions that I have already installed. So let's also install brackets per colorizer. So I write SAS. Okay, I write SAS. SAS is like CSS with on steroids. So I write CSS but with SAS. So if you have brackets per colorizer, it's going to make things very easy for you. I promise you. But just install it for now. So you can search for that. You can search for brackets per colorizer and then it pops up and then you can install them. There are a couple of them, but please make sure you install the one that is still active and valid. All right, and then let me clear everything, and then we can also install colorize. I like this very much. Colorize, please install this one as well. What colorize does is that if you should write the color of any, if you write a hex number or the RGB or anything of any color in your code, just look at it. It's even showing you here. It's going to show you the color, so you see exactly what color you're actually looking out here. You're looking out here, and that is great. All right, and then we're also going to install CSS Speak. I know those who joined last week, they are probably wondering why we are doing the same thing again, but I just need it so that we can be able to make things happen. All right, so let's install CSS Speak as well, and code spell checker. I mean, if you are like me and then your English is the best when you are speaking, but when you are writing, you make a lot of typos. So you need this to be able to help you. All right, and then let's go all the way down. All the way down. You can install Git lens. I think I have a lot of things installed. IntelliCode too. This one. Yeah, just type IntelliCode and let's install that one as well. Please pause and let me know in the comment section. Please, where are you watching from? I want to know. If you don't do that, I'm going to feel bad. Okay, let me know where you're watching from. And I'm going to go down and I'm going to say JavaScript code snippet. I want you to install that one as well. Yeah, please install that. We already have live server installed. So let's install path intelligence too. This is good. This really helps when you're trying to link something. Okay, the path intelligence is like it's going to just see, oh, it's going to be giving you options. I'll show that when we are doing that there. So please install that, and let's install also prettier. Prettier makes your code prettier. I don't know how to say that. So prettier formats your code so that your code becomes readable and breathable, so that somebody can make sense of the code they are writing, not just all combined together raw and nobody can actually make use of it. Okay, if I wasn't showing my screen, forgive me. We are installing extensions. This is the reason why I have a good team behind me who always make sure we get the best for everything. Okay, guys, I think that will be the extensions that will be installing. I'm going to go over the extensions once more, okay? So if I wasn't showing my screen, you can actually see what I was doing. So the first one is you're going to do brackets per colorizer. You're going to install colorize. You're also going to install IntelliCode, this one, and we are installing live server, and we are also installing Path Intelligence, and then Prettier. Okay, so this is just few ones. I'm going to list them in the comment section so that you can actually see them as well. All right. All right. So somebody saying there's a previous video. Yes, but don't jump out. Let's finish this and then you can check out that video. That will actually boost your understanding. So these are the extension. These are the extensions. That's Dominic Adam. Thank you so much for joining. For the extensions, I'm going to have one. Let's say Prettier. 2. Live server. 3. What again? Live server. Peacock. All right. 4. Let me just refer. Okay. Don't try to do magic here. Okay. Path Intelligence. Yeah. Intelligence. Forgive my spelling if they are not really correct. Okay, but you have to bear with me. I'm not a spellings guy. All right. And then you're going to have VS Code icons. Icons 6. You're going to have IntelliCode. I think I've already spelled that. IntelliCode. We are going to have CSS peak. It's very important. 7. We are going to have brackets per colorizer. All right, so I just placed them there, guys. So those are the various ones that I want us to have them installed. I'm going to minimize my screen and then bring back this one. Okay, so once you have live server installed, if you look at the bottom of I call it the footer, right? If you look at the footer of your VS Code, you're going to see this thing called Go Live. So click to run live server. Okay, now let me click on that and see what happens. So what that does, at the moment you click on it, it's going to create something for you. It's going to show your website for you. Okay, you can see we have the now 5 icons at the top and all the pictures that you have already seen. So these are all the code that we've written in the HTML. You see, it says a full stack developer. If I should go to the HTML right now, okay. So guys, you can hide the sidebar by pressing Ctrl B just to hide it. It's a shortcut. It's a very handful useful one. So full stack developer. I'll say full stack animator. If I just Ctrl S to save, immediately it saves. Okay, yeah, forgive me, I didn't bring the T. Ctrl S, immediately it refreshes in the browser and then I get my changes right there. So it's a great tool that great extension that you have to get installed. But let's get straight to the CSS. All right, now people are scared of CSS. Let me show my face. People are scared of CSS, but I am not. I embrace CSS so much because I think it allows you to add so much to a website. If you look at this raw, ugly looking thing that you are seeing right here, and you see the result that CSS is going to create with this, you'll be shocked. But also, I am not very lazy, but I want things done the fast way and the perfect way. All right, so I find shortcuts. I don't call them shortcuts, but I find more effective ways and easier ways to do. And if you show me an easier way, I'm taking your easier way. Okay, so look at what I'm going to do. Look at what I'm going to do. I'm going to start with a table of content. To create a comment in CSS, you can do control and then /, which is by M. So after M, there's a left, less than, greater than, and then there's a question mark. So /, it creates a comment for you in CSS. Okay. Yeah, I forgot to switch. Let me just undo everything. So to create a comment here, you do control +/ like so, and then what I'm going to do a table of content. Someone is probably wondering, I'm here to learn the code. What are you doing with the table of content? This I do so that anybody who gets access to my code can be able to understand what is happening in there immediately by just looking at the table of contents and then navigating to where they want things to happen for themselves. So the first thing I'm going to do here is we're going to have okay, it's a comment, so let's comment. Number one, I'm going to say resetting. Is that a spelling? Okay, so I'm going to reset a couple of things. You see that very soon when I do that. Also, number two, I'm going to have my container elements. But so as we are adding things, we'll be adding to our table of contents so that we know exactly where we are going. So let's go to the first thing where we are going to reset. Okay, just follow along. I got you. So once again, a comment, and I'm going to do equal to that equal to plenty, and then I'll say in all caps, I'll say resetting. Alright, just like before already agreed on. And then I'm going to leave more equal to's at the end. Alright, so CSS goes this way. You select the HTML element, alright, and then you apply the styles to it. So the first thing is you have to select an element. So if for instance I want to see I want to change the color of the whole body here, all I have to do is I have to select the HTML element. So let me go into my HTML element. Let me move it here. Okay, and then there's an HTML element called body. All right, you can see it here. It has body. All right, so if I say body, all right, I have selected that HTML element. And what I can do next is I have to apply my style to it. So the first step is that you have to know how to select it. We have CSS selectors. We have a lot of them. We have sibling, we have child selector, and we have a whole lot of other things. All right, we'll get to those nitty-gritties as we are going on. But for now, let's start with the easy one. So I start with the body. I select the body like so, and then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to apply my styles. Now, to apply the styles, there's which one comes first? Is it property? Okay, let me say body. I'll say background. Yeah, background color, and I'll say red. Okay, so I think there's the property, and then there's the value. I'm sure that is it. Please let me know in the comment section which one you think it is. I'm not really with the technicalities here. They're all about getting things done. So there's background color here, which we just changed to red, and you can see that it has made the whole background color warm red just by doing this. So the first step is that you have to select the item, and then we will apply the styles to it. So if you don't select it, you might be applying your style, but once it's not selected, forget it. You ain't going nowhere. All right. So what people don't usually see with websites and all the elements in every website is that, let me just do this. You can right click on this and then scroll all the way down to where you can see inspect. Okay, yours might come this way. Let me show you how yours might come. I think yours might come this way in your browser. If you right click anywhere and say inspect, yours might come this way, and that is cool. Just that usually I want to take my own one. So the three dots at the top right corner here, I click on that and say undock it, and I want it to pop out of it so that I can have it on one side and see my website on the other end and still be able to play around with it. All right, so if you look at, let me select just any element. Okay, let's select this H1. If I hover on this H1 here in my we call this on the dev tools, you can see in the browser that there's some orange around on top of it and orange beneath it. All right, so you can see that one happening there. If I should come all the way to the right hand side here, you can see the blue that we saw. Let me write on, you see blue and two oranges. The blue is a real item, but then the oranges that you see at the top and the bottom are what we call margins, because automatically any element that you have here, until you've said anything, the browser is automatically applying some patterns and margins to things, and we don't want that. We want to tell the code and the browser that add this margin. You don't tell us how much margin should be added. So the first thing I say in resetting is we are removing all margins and we are removing all patterns. We don't want anything from the browser. We want to tell the browser how much margin should be added. All right, that's the first thing I'm going to do here. So I'm going to put a star. Now what a star does is it selects everything. Okay, star selects everything. So I mean asterisk. All right, so shift and 8 to get asterisk, and then you can say I want padding of 0 and I want margin of also 0. And when I save that, you can see things change immediately. Now there is no margin and padding around anything again. It's all gone. It's all gone. That is the first step in resetting. But one thing we also want to add is I want to add border box of, yeah, is it border box? Box sizing, yeah. Box sizing of border box. Now you might not really understand this, but please do this. Okay, please do this. Maybe I should have separate videos. I will link videos to to explain this, but please do this. All right. The next step is to apply this resetting to all pseudo elements. Now you are wondering what pseudo elements are. Pseudo elements are like some inherited everything that, like, everybody has something inherited in you. Every element, whether it's the H1, H2 image, they all have pseudo elements. Think of pseudo elements like your name. Everybody has a name. All right. So whilst resetting, I want to reset them as well. What I could do is that I could do this after, and then apply padding, margin, border box, rewrite the same code again, and then do this and do before and rewrite the same code again. But I'm quite lazy, so this is what I'm going to do. Please just follow along, even if you don't understand. It will make sense as we go on. I'm going to put the asterisk, 2 columns like this, and right after, put another comma, and then put the asterisk, 2 column again, and then before, and then no comma, and I save it. All right, and then this is going to reset. This is what I'm called resetting. I'm resetting everything. I've resetted everything right here. So if you've done this, if you're able to come this far, it means you are ready for the big game. Once again, guys, if you are enjoying this, please make sure you like this video and share to your WhatsApp status, share to the friend that you think will benefit from this. It means a lot to me, honestly. And if you're just joining, let me know where you're watching this video from. I am watching from Accra, Ghana, and let us know in the comment section below. Or just spam the heart button. Just spam it. Just keep spamming the heart button. It means a lot to me. Let's continue right here. Okay, okay, we got it. All right, so the next thing is, let's call the HTML element. All right, so if you look at the HTML code, you can see that we have an HTML element here. That is where everything is located within. All right, from all the way top to down. So let's call that particular element. How do we call that? By simply writing HTML, and then it appears here like so. What I want to say is that I want the height to be of 100%. So I want the height to be 100%. HTML, just please fill up whatever container, you fill everything 100%. Okay. I also probably want the weight also to be 100%. Now, anytime you use the word 100%, it's related to something. 100% relative to whatever it finds itself in. So in this case, the HTML happens to be like that is the last thing. Okay, that is the outermost container. All right, outermost thing. All right, so by saying that you want it to be 100% for height and weight, it means that it's going to be 100% of the browser. So whatever browser you find yourself in is going to be 100% of what immediately that. But one thing I also do is that I use font size of 60. Look at that, you cut me. All right, 62.5%. Now I'll explain that. And now everything just got smaller in the browser. And you're probably wondering, what is wrong with this guy? Please, just relax. Follow along. I have you covered. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to call the body. Once again, we are resetting stuff. We are resetting things, okay? We are resetting it. And you start to appreciate them very soon, okay? So I'm going to go to the body. Once again, body, I just type body because we have the head, which contains some of the technicalities that we don't really see in the browser here, but then we have the body as well. So I add the body, and then we are starting the body. Like the body was there when we applied the background color of red. It changed everything here, back here to the wall red. All right, so I'm going to just clean that because I honestly don't want the background color to be red. What I want to do is that I want the body to also take a weight of 100%. All right, and the height of also 100%. Now when we're designing, there's the Figma file. I'm thinking that some of you do not have access to this. To move this, okay. Well, I'm wondering what's happening here. Oh, Figma wants to play jokes, but I'll find a link to this for you guys, and then I'll share with you. So this is the design that we are trying to achieve with the CSS. Okay, so if you look at um I can't really share now. I'm not trying to spend some time solving this. If you look at the fonts that we use in the design, they were all Montserrat fonts. Montserrat, just like in that movie, that telenovela with a lady called Montserrat, right? So that's the font we are going to be using. All right. So how do we get this font in here? There's a suite service called Google Fonts. Google Fonts. Yep. Okay, so yeah, I just searched for it. Google corrected my mistake, my typo, and then Google Fonts brought this here. So Google Fonts allows us to bring lots of fonts and use in our project for free. So and it's very, very, very good. I've used it for a long while. So let's search for the font. We got the font Montserrat, and yay, Montserrat is here. So I click on Montserrat like so, and then I say there's a button that says Get Font here. I click on that, and then they say embed code and download. Now, if you want to use this in your design project, you can download it, but I want to just use it in my web project. So I'm going to say I already have it downloaded, by the way. So please do want to download it as well. I'll say Get embed code. Now they give you two options here. They have you either copy this into your HTML or you copy this into your CSS. I want to copy this into my HTML. I don't want to copy it into my CSS. I'm going to say copy code like so, and I've copied that code, and I'll run away into my HTML here, and so here goes the main CSS. I'm going to make another comment here, and I say here goes the Google font. All right, and I paste it in here. So let me go press home, tab things just to make things look great. Yeah, and save it. So we are 30 minutes in and we've made a lot of progress. I'm going to speed up very soon, but I know you will follow along very well. And please drop a like on this video and just feel free to come back and rewatch things. Okay, it will help us, you and I. So I'm going to just save that, and yeah. So but just by saving that doesn't mean all of a sudden the fonts in here are going to turn to Montserrat. No. Let me show you something. Right, but first of all, let's adjust the font size. Okay, so in the body I want the font size to be like 1.4 rem. Now you're wondering what rem units are. Rem units are relative to something. Okay, just use 1.4 rem and follow me. 1.4 rem is the equivalent of, I think, 10 pixels or so. So let's use 1.4 rem, which will be adjusting very soon. Okay, I'll explain something to you on the way. Let's make it 1.6. I just refer to my original code. Oop, look at me. 1.6 rem, save that, and then we have some good font to go. But if you look at the Google fonts once again, not only did they say that, they said after pasting this in your HTML, you have to do this. You have to say font family of Montserrat. You have to add this to your CSS. So I'm going to copy this. So font family of Montserrat, and let's watch how the changes are applied in the browser as we are going to be doing that. Look at the font that we have here. If I say font family of Montserrat and Control S, save it, now the font just changed, looking much nicer and much better. All right, and then I'll say font weight of, let me just leave the font weight out of it. Right, now there's one thing I want to do about the font size. I want to use the property called the clamp property. Clamp property. Now what clamp property does is that, sometimes you want to write some responsive code, because if it's in a browser you want things to look a certain way, but on a mobile phone you don't want the fonts to look as big as it was in the browser. So you use what you call some responsiveness. What clamp allows us to do is that it takes in three values. It takes in the minimum possible value, it takes in the let me say the usual value, and it takes in the last one called the maximum value. Right, so it will not allow the font size to get bigger past a certain limit, and then the minimum value will not allow the font size to get smaller than a certain limit, and the usual value is what the font size would be like on a regular. So let's try something. So I'm going to put in three values in here. I'm going to put, say, 2 rem, that's the minimum value, put a comma, and then I'll put let me say 6 view width. So 6 view width. View width is VW for view width. All right, and then finally I'm going to put, let me say 6 rem. I just have to copy that. All right, and then I saved it. Now look at things are just getting hilarious in the browser right now. I'm expanding the browser, and look how you see the fonts are getting bigger. They're getting bigger. They are getting bigger. They are getting bigger. They are getting bigger, but they are not getting bigger past where it has gotten to. It's staying where it is because that's probably the maximum value of like 6 rem. That's not it. So you see, very, 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 very funny. Now I'm getting smaller. I'm getting smaller. It still doesn't allow it to go smaller than what? 2.2, what, 2 ROM. Let me change this to the values I'll be using. So I want the original value to be 5 rem. And then you see, it just got smaller. But you see, 5 rem is probably, it's not less than 5 viewport weight, it's not less than the 2 rem. So it's still the way it is. But if I should change the minimum to, let me say, 6, it's still going to maintain the 5 viewport weight for the font size. If I'm increasing it, you see it's getting bigger. By the moment it gets to 6 rem, which is the maximum value, it stays there. It doesn't get any bigger. It stays where it is. Alright. So what happens if I change that 6 rem to, let's say, 2 rem, and I save it? Now you see it will not allow the font to get bigger than what? 2 rem. Okay. If I'm expanding it, alright, it's still staying at 2 rem because that's the possible maximum value it can be, even though the but you see, and it's staying at 2 rem. If I come here, it's probably less than 2 rem here, but if I'm expanding it, so guys, it's something I use and it helps me so much. It just makes the responsiveness means that it's good for desktop, it looks good on desktop, it looks good on mobile phone, right? We design the website desktop first and then we size it down to mobile phone. Our building, we build mobile first and then we scale it up to bigger desktop. All right, so let's continue. That for the font size. We're going to apply the same concept a whole lot at different places. Let's add a line height. So the line height is 1.5. I use that just to make it breathable and readable. I do that very, very importantly, and that's also very important. But there's one thing I want to introduce you to, guys. But I'll bring that up in a few moments. I'll bring that up in a few moments. We call that one CSS variables. Okay, so what variables allows us to do is that it allows us to be able to reuse certain elements again. Now I'm going to use them for color. I'm going to say color what's this? Let me go to color. Let me go to color white. All right, and the color white is going to be white. So to be able to declare a CSS variable, you have to put 2 dash, 1 dash, 1 dash, and then you type the name of the variable. After that, you put the property in there. So that's color white. There's color black, which I know is not 000. Let me go in and go and confirm. All right. So there's the black that we are using. We don't use the normal black because, well, that doesn't really look great. So, and there's also, look at what Peacock is doing. Peacock is shading. Hey, is it Peacock colorize? It's shading the things as they are. So please install colorize. All right. There's also color yellow. Okay, they are all here. Let me just copy their hex code. All right. Where? Yeah. So I'm going to call this one color yellow. So color yellow, like so, and then I'm going to paste the code from the design. Now please just follow along. Okay, you can just punch them in. I'm bringing them from the design. I don't know why I can't get a design for it, the code for it. So Control C again for the color blue. Yeah, so color blue, Control V, and then save it. And then finally the light blue, which I say Control C. I say color blue light. All right. Okay, I have to put the asterisk in front of it. And I think we have to add some grays because the grays are important. We can't really do without a gray. So I just copy it here. Please feel free to copy the hex code from what you are seeing here. Color gray. There's the light gray. All right, and I'm going to save that. So these are some of the hex codes that we have, and we are going to be using them along the way. I'm looking if there's any other color that I have to add. I'll probably add them along the way, but I'm going to explain to you why I choose to go with CSS variables very soon. All right, so let's get back to the browser and let's get back to making things happen. And the first thing we are going to do is that, yes, you're wondering, can we start a hero section? No. I choose all the time to build components first before I start getting to the main designs. So let's build out our components. The first component we are going to be building out are our buttons. So you can see one button here and the other button here. And yeah, so let's go and build out our buttons. After we have decided to set out our container. All right. So the container, what we're going to do with the container is that if you look at the design, you can see that everything is tucked in line. It's as if we just put a tape measure beside it and make sure everything was there, and then there was nothing that is spilling out of this. And there is something that you see a lot in lots of websites. I can just open any website for you right now. The thing that comes to mind is probably MTN. If you look at MTN's website, for instance, good, you can see that everything seems to be tucked in a straight line, nothing really spilling out of this section. So what we want to do is I want to create that particular thing for ourselves, and that is, if you look at the HTML that we also wrote as well, you can see we have container and a class of wrapper for all of the various sections. We put everything there so that we can contain everything in that container. All right, so let's go ahead and let's look at how we can make that happen. But before we do that, let's do something to the body. Let's add a background color, because I don't want the background color of the body to be white. I want it to be a shade of gray. All right, so background color of, now to be able to use a CSS prop variable, you have to do what we call var. That's variable. Open your brackets and then type in the details that you have there. So here we're going to have the color to be color white. Control C like that, and then paste it in there and then save it. Did they get? Okay. I think it did. So how can we test? I'll just go to this color here and change it to red and see what happens. So you see, just by changing the variable, it's going to apply anywhere there was gray light. It's going to be applying there. So I can just come here and then tweak the colors. If the project ends and I want the colors to change, I can just come to the variables and play the colors there, and it will affect everywhere that the variable of light gray was used. So you can see it's probably taking effect. So let me just do Control Z, save it. It's back to the light gray, and then so I'm no longer changing the background. I don't have to go individually trying to change anywhere I put this particular hex code. Just by changing one variable, I can change everything. That's why I use variables. Okay. So then the color too, I want the color to be black. So we use what we call color, COLOR, to change the font color. All right. So this is okay, not black. I want color black. Exactly. All right. So yeah, that's my guy right there. Okay. Now let's get back to the container again. Let's look at how we can do the container. So what do I do? I'm going to put a comment here saying end of resetting. Is that true? No. Before we finish the resetting, let's reset a few things. So I want all IMG. IMG is for the image tags. I want all image tags. I want to do this to all image tags. I want to say that all image tags should take a width of 100%. Good. Now, let me comment that one out. You see, first we could scroll left and right because they are bigger than the size of the window. Is that not it? I don't want that. No matter what, I want the image to take a width of 100% of its container, so it doesn't spill out. All right. This is what I do to all my containers. I do to them a lot, and then I want the height to be automatic. Please don't go out of shape. Just keep your aspect ratio. That's what I mean by height of auto. So if there's anything I have to reset, we'll come back in there and we'll reset it. But for now, let's go to the container. So I'm just going to do resetting. I'm going to control, because I don't want to type plenty, and then I'll change this to container, and so I'm going to say dot container. Now remember we said this is a div, all right, with a class of container. How I can select this particular HTML property is by selecting the class, using the class to select it. How do I do that? I just have to do what we call a dot. Put a dot and then type the name of the class. So container, like so. open my curly braces, and then I have to start. I can start styling it. If I say container of background color green, I just keep using these colors. You see, everywhere that we had container in, you're going to be seeing a lot of green around. All right. The images are looking this because I said width of 100%, so they are trying to exaggerate. Don't mind the images. Find a way around them. All right. But I don't want the container to do that. I want the container to do this. I want the container to be a width of container. Please take the width of 100%. Okay. Yeah. Also, I think I should still leave the background color of green, so you see what will be happening very soon. Okay. And then I want the height of also 100%. Please take out the shape of whatever you have here. I want you to have a position of relative. Now I'm not moving anything. I'm just saying please take a position of relative. All right. And I'm going to say let the max width to be 2580. Now I might have cooked this one out. You can try things out just to see which one works for you. Right. I'm going to say a max width of 25800 and 2580 pixels. Now look at something. Whoop. Okay, that is not working. All right. Did that work? Okay. Okay. We'll get to that. We'll get whether it worked or not. We're going to find out. We're going to find out very soon. Whether it worked or not, we're going to find out very soon. But let's do one more thing. Let's add the wrapper. Okay. And then what the wrapper is doing is that I'm just using the wrapper to the container is just preventing us from going past a certain width, but the wrapper is putting padding and the spaces around it. Because if you look at the mobile design here, I want just a little space. I don't want to be touching the screen. I mean, that doesn't really look great. All right. So I'm going to say the wrapper. You give me a padding of padding right of 20 pixels. And I'm going to say padding left of 20 pixels. I can't even type anymore. So you see, it just puts a little padding on the left and right, just for the mobile screens. Okay, and we like that. We like that, don't we? We do. All right, all right. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to go all the way and start writing some responsive code. What responsive code does is that it allows me to target a particular size of a window, and then based on the particular window that I've targeted, I can apply specific code that will apply to only that particular window size. For instance, when your website is being displayed on a mobile phone, I want this particular code to kick in and apply for only on mobile phones. And if the website is in a desktop mode, I want this code to kick in and apply to only the desktop when the website is in desktop. I'll show you how we um, we achieve that. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to come all the way down. Let me just say end of container here. All right, and I'm going to go all the way down. But remember, table of contents like we agreed on. After container, you probably have to add like maybe 7, and I'll say responsive code like so. Save that, come all the way down, and then I'm going to say I'm just pasting this, and I'm just going to say I want to really exaggerate this one. All right, let me exaggerate it. All right, like so. All right, guys, can you still see my face? If you can't see my face, let me know so that um yeah. So under the various responsive code, I'm going to refer because hey, really, you think I'm what, a magician? No way, I am a magician. All right, so I'm just put a heading of, let me say, responsive code. My table is not the best today, so it's making me type a little slow, but I'm going to still manage to type fast. All right, so I'm going to say, how do you do that? We say at, then you say screen, this screen at media. Good, it's helping me at media screen, at media screen, and then you choose the screen size that you want. Let me refer quickly to the completed project, and then I'll let you guys see how it goes. Okay. Okay. So 200 pixels. 200 pixels. It's not muted. Guys, I'm not muted. Oops. You got me. Subscribe, share the link to anybody that you who benefit from this. Let's get back to it. So the minimum weight that I want this to happen for, I'm going to say, so I want a minimum weight of, let me say, 1024 pixels, like so. And after that, I open my curly braces. Now, any code, oh, sorry, I'm supposed to declare minimum width of 1024 pixels. Now, in between these two curly braces here, all right, any code I'm going to be writing right now is going to apply for when the screen reaches a minimum width of 1024 pixels. Let me show you something. So I'm going to say body, and I'll say display of none. Save it. You see, nothing is happening here. But the moment, no, okay, I don't want that one. The moment I'm increasing the browser size, increasing it, increasing it, increasing it, look at the top right corner here, something it's showing the width. I'm increasing it. I think the moment I kick past 1024 pixels, it kicks in. It kicks in here and says that body display of what? None. So the body is no longer displaying, but if I come less than that, it's applying. So that's what the responsive code allows us to do. So I'm saying that when we hit a minimum screen width of 1024 pixels, apply this particular code. And the first thing I want to do is that I want to start my container. So I'm going to say container, right? And once again, what you should know is that I'll call this one laptop desktop screens. All right, and I'm going to save that because all the code I'm writing here is for desktop only. All right, desktop only, and I save that. So in here under the container, I'm going to say is it container dot wrapper. I want to say padding where is it, padding right of 200 pixels, and then padding left of also 200 pixels. Right, so let's see what happens now. Instead of the display none, which I've actually disabled, you can see it automatically puts in some big padding on the left and the right hand side of this, and that makes the website look great. Okay, like so. We want it to behave exactly that way. And on the mobile, because this one is only applying for this one, on the mobile side, you're going to have the padding of 20 pixels that we put here. So that really makes things very easy and convenient for us. So once again, let's continue from here. Um, we have our container sorted out. Okay, so this once again is desktop only. Let me just say end of desktop only. I'm going to come down, Control C, Control V, and I'm going to say this mobile phone. Mobile phone. I'm going to say end of mobile phone. I'm just putting them down so that way we can, make things happen for us. So I'm going to say at media screen and okay, at media screen and open the bracket, and I say max width of. The funny thing about this, your browser in the DevTools, which I've not yet still disabled, if you click on the laptop looking and the phone looking thing at the top left corner here, it will shift between the various devices. So at the top here we can see mobile, showing you the usual size of mobile. There's also still mobile with a bigger display. It's a mobile with an even bigger display, and there's tablets here. So 760, where is it, 768 pixels. That's what I'm actually going to copy. All right, so a max width of 768 pixels. Save that. So that is going to be for open my curly braces and just leave it down. So that's why I'll be putting all the code that I want to just happen for tablet mode. Now any code I apply for tablet mode is going to apply for mobile too. But sometimes I want some code to kick in only at the rather small display. Okay, so for those ones I also have to write. I'm going to copy everything here because we are almost 1 hour in, and then you guys are probably wondering why there's no magic happening yet. So I'm just going to say mobile phone, and I'm going to change this to probably 500 pixels, and I'm going to save that. Okay, So now that we have our responsive code area set up, we also have a few other things set up. Let's go back again. I'm going to take away the green um, from the container. We actually don't need that. Okay, but what I'm going to do is just imagine I was actually expanding this past, we agreed that it shouldn't go past 2580 pixels. Let's imagine I'm trying to go, if you look at the top here, that's showing me the width. Okay, what happens if I'm trying to go past the 2500 and whatever pixels that is? So you can see that the picture seems to be shifting towards the left instead of staying in the middle. All right, and how we can solve that is by, I'm going to actually click on the I don't want to see, just give me my normal browser. What we can do is that we can put of margin right of auto and then margin left of auto and save that. This will center things out for us, but right now you might not really appreciate it until you're on a very, very, very big device screen. All right, so guys, that's the first thing we've done. We've created our container. The next thing is that let's create our number 4. We are creating all our, I call this one typography, right? Typography. So that's number 4. I'm going to copy this one from here, and then right after the container area, I'll paste that, comment control +/ and then I say end of typography, because that's what we are doing next. And I'm going to say typography. So typography is just mainly our text, and from the design that we've already seen and we are so familiar with, we have two types of text. There we have this test going on here, and this test also going on as well. So I'm going to try to create all of that. I'm going to call the very small one here heading primary, and call this one heading secondary. I think that's what I did in most of them. So yes, we have heading secondary for the smaller one, and then heading primary for the much bigger one. So let's select that by just saying heading primary, and then exactly, let's open our whoop. What just happened here? Okay, yeah, great. So let's find a way to check the heading primary here. So we're going to say, let's say display of none, and then it vanishes. It should vanish. If it's not vanishing, then we should check it out again. It says heading primary. I let my work speak for itself. It's an example of the heading primary. All right. Let me just copy that. So maybe if I'm making a typo, it's not really showing control V. All right. So what was happening was that because this is capital P, is the reason why when it was a smaller p, it wasn't really working. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the HTML, and I'm going to do I'm going to find it, and I'm going to replace it with the same thing but with a smaller p, because I don't want a capital P. And click on this one here, there's first and second. Click on this to change everywhere it appears like that, and then save it. Because guys, we don't want to be writing capital letters here. Okay, all right. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to say the font size to be something like, let me say 3rem. Yeah, 3rem is not a lot. Let me just say 4rem. Save that. Great. And then let's make the line height of like 1. Yeah, 1.2 should do. Okay, great. So that is it. Were they all capital letters in there? Okay, no, they weren't capital letters. They were all just the first sentence case. Now let's go to the heading secondary. All right, and what I want to do the heading secondary is this is it. That is it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to find a way to make these two things happen, and I need your thorough attention to make this happen. Guys, please follow along. I promise you that it will be done very soon. So what I'm going to do, let me bring it here so I can see. Okay, all right. So I'm going to say number 1, font size of, let me say 1.6 rem. which is already add. I want the font weight. I don't want it to be bold. I want it to be 400. Okay, and I'll save that. Let's be seeing what happens in the browser. So testimonials, you can see it's trying to happen here. You can see it right here trying to happen. Okay, we could actually make the font size 1 point, let me say 8, and then save that. It's probably happening as well. But what we want to do is that we want to do something. We want to do position of relative, which is very important. Save that. Nothing is happening, and then I'm going to copy the same thing again. Control C, paste it, and then add a pseudo class of after. All right, and just write the same thing I write in the content of nothing. Just put the content in there, and I'm going to have weight of let me say weight of, I want the weight to be like, let me say 10 pixels. Okay, and let's say the height to be 100%, because I want the height to be just like whatever you're not seeing anything. Let's just put the color, background color of, let me say, green on that, and whoa, nothing is happening. Great, nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. Let's put position of absolute in there. Say top of 0 and then left of 0 in there. Save it. Now you can see that the green has automatically just decided to appear here. Funny, eh? The green has decided to appear here. So that's what happened when we apply these three things. Position, the position is absolute to the portfolio. That's a particular heading. If we didn't have position relative in here and we saved it, you see what's happening here. The green is positioning itself relative to the next thing that it can find position applied to. All right, and the next thing that it will always find position applied to will be exactly what we call the container, because remember we added relatives to container when we're starting the container, which is here. All right, so that's why we put position relative to the element here, so that it positions itself absolute to what it can find, the parent element for which it can find the position of what any position item applied to it. So here we add what relative. So I'm going to do the next thing. I'm going to say display of inline block. I know why you're wondering what's this. Just follow along, and I'm going to say margin left of, let me say 5 rem, and then save it. So we just moved everything to the right. We are putting a margin of 5 rem to it. Let me show you. Click on the arrow at the top left corner, select. You can see this. You see the orange beside it. So that's us trying to apply some margin of what 5 rem here, which is like 50 pixels. Can you see that? I think 5 rem might be too much, so I'm just going to say the margin left of, like, let me just say 3 rem, and that should be good. Now we want to create the same thing again for the before, because we have two colors. If you look at the design, we have what color is this? Blue and then yellow. All right, so we want to create two of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be very lazy, and I'm going to just say comma, calm down, dot heading secondary, and then I'll say a before element. So the before will be one color, and then after will be one color. So I'll clean this because I don't want the color to be applied that way. So I'm going to copy each of them and give them each of them a different color. All right, so Control V, after, like so, and I'll say a background color of, once again I'm using CSS variable, so VAR, change it like this, and say color. Yeah, it's even helping me. Thank God, it's even helping me. I think I need my water. All right, then color yellow, so you can see yellow is just popped up here, and I'm going to copy all of this. Control C, Control V, and I'll change this to the before, and then I'll make this one color blue. All right, now once again the top, and then the top should always be 0 for all of them, but the left will differ depending on which one you are looking at. All right, so I want the, which one came first? Yellow came first, followed by the blue. All right, so I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to transform it. Let's say transform, and I'm going to say rotate, and in how many degrees? I'm going to rotate this, let me say 45 degrees, and save that. Guys, just follow along. So you can see them, they've all rotated looking that way. I think the width might be too much here. Let me just change the width to be something around 5 pixels. Save that. Great. That is looking good. Now for the, which one came first again? Yellow first. So the yellow, this is okay, good. So I'm going to say yellow left, let me just put it left of negative, say 10 pixels. Save that. Great, great. I think 45 degrees might be too much. Let's make it 30 and see. Yeah, 30 looks better. I think negative 10 pixels might be too much. Let's make it 15. Save it. Yeah, great. Let's copy this and then let's paste it, and then let's make this one instead of, let's make it 0 here. No, let's make it negative 10 pixels. Save that, and then they're kind of crashing into each other. So I'll make this one 20 yellow. Perfect. And guys, I think we might just have recreated this particular thing heading right here, and then it means we've created all our various headings and we are good to go. So if you can see them appearing, all the areas that we applied that particular code to, and it's looking saucy. And once again, it's going to make things very easy for us, I promise you. Just hold on a little while. What I want to do is I want to add a margin bottom of like say 2 rem, because for everywhere that it appears I wanted to put a margin beneath it. So let me say 5 rem should be do. 5 rem should. Whoop, am I saving it? Whoa. Okay. Oh, no. Not the before and after element. I want the real element here. So save it. And yeah, 5 rem might be a lot. But well, we will see how that one goes. So now the next component that I want us to create from what we had here is going to be the buttons. Alright, so let's create these 2 buttons. And I know in the HTML, what we did with the buttons was that let me go to the home page. So we have one button. Let me go to another button. So, alright, the href is going nowhere. Guys, shout out to Joshua. He's been helping me so much. I don't know what I'll do today without him. He's been helping me so much, and I appreciate him. I'm going to put the link to his GitHub repo here so that you guys can follow him. He's a very amazing developer. When I showed him the design for this code, I just closed my eye, and that same day he had just sent me the he has built it and showing me the completed work. And I know that in such a community we need people like that so that we can all help each other grow and become the best version of ourselves. Let's get back to work. Once again, drop a like. Alright, so I'm going to, what I do with the class is that I'm going to add a class called btn. So the btn is the first class. Alright, and after that I add another class for the color. So I'm going to say btn neutral. Alright, I don't know where I'm getting this from. So btn is just for the shape, and then btn yellow is for the color. Btn neutral is for the color. You understand that? Let me see how I'm going to make that one happen. So the next one I'm going to say 5. I'm going to say buttons. Once again, we are doing this intentionally so that anybody who gets access to the code can use them confidently, knowing that they are doing a good thing. Alright, so I'm going to whoop. What did I copy? Control C. Now Control V. I'm going to say buttons, right? And I'm going to say here is for end of buttons. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say first of all btn, so dot btn, and let's bring the browser in so that we see exactly. Whoop. Oh yeah, we didn't type anything here. So this is, let me say contact. I was wondering why we didn't see the second button in here, but now we can see it here. So this is a neutral and this is a yellow one. Alright. So the first thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to say display inline block. Now, why am I doing this? I'm doing this because of 2 things. We have inline element, we have inline block element, and we have block element. Now, if an element is block, it means it can take padding. It can take what's the name of that? It can take padding, it can take margin, and a whole lot of other things. But if an element is an inline element, let me just show you what happens. I'm going to hide this. Okay, I'm going to comment the inline block element out. Let me say padding of I wonder how much padding to add here. So I'm just referring. Alright, I'm going to add padding of 1.5 rem to top and bottom, and then 3 rem left and right. Save that. Now I'll show you something very soon. Let me just dot btn yellow. You know what we agreed on, so we say color, background color of var color yellow, save it, and then yeah, and then let's do the same thing. But what was the color in the, so it had a black, they all have black, so I'll say color of, let me say var color black, save that, and let's do the same thing for the neutral. Control C, Control V. So we want the background color of should it be white or transparent? I'll say white, color white, and then the color should also be color black. So once again, it shouldn't be color yellow. Please, if you apply yellow here, this one is going to overwrite the previous one. So let's change this to neutral and then save it. So we have two buttons here, two amazing looking buttons here. You can see them. Well, something dangerous is happening. Right, let me see. So can you see what's happening here? When it wasn't an inline block element, you can see that the pattern is not really being applied well like it should be applied. Alright, by the moment I change this to inline block element, now the pattern, things are just changing here, because inline elements themselves don't take padding and margin. It looks off. For it to be able to take padding and margin, it has to be a block element. But we don't want this to be about a block. Sorry guys, I'll show my face. But just the block element takes the whole weight. It takes the whole weight of everything. Alright. But if you have inline block, it shows it doesn't take the whole weight. It still behaves like an inline element, but it takes padding and margin. Let me show once again. Just look at how it's misbehaving. Yes, it just went behind the picture and it's acting all weird. If I should change this to block, let me show you. Let me not make it block. You see, block takes the whole weight. We don't want it to take the whole weight. We want it to just be behaving as it the way it is, but just take padding and margin. Just for Christ's sake, take padding and margin. Alright. If you make it only inline, which it is by default, you see what's happening. It's just misbehaving. If you make it inline block, it allows this inline element to take padding and margin. And as you can see right now, we are applying some padding to it, and now it's looking well, all great. Let's add a border radius here. Border radius of like what, 3 rem. Save that, giving it or making it all curly, but it's an underline. So test decoration of none. We don't want any text underline in there. Alright, so I want to increase the left and right side to 3.5 so that it looks more breathing. It looks like it wants to breathe. Alright, so that's our buttons looking all great. But let me look at the design. I think they have they had a border around it. So let's create that one. Alright, so I'm going to go to the neutral one because that's the one that had it. I'm going to say border. Whoop. Okay, I know I didn't put the closing curly, the semicolon there. So border, I want it to be 2 pixels. I want it to be solid, and I want it to be black. Yeah, color black. All right. Then I save it. But I see something. It looks as if only this one looks bigger than this. I mean, they're supposed to be the same size. I don't want one to be bigger than the other. I want them to be about the same size. Okay, look at something. Copy this. Because when we hover the yellow one, I want it to, when we hover, and then the same thing when we focus, because some people scroll through a website with tab. So if you don't, you see, some people use tab to scroll through a website. If you don't style it for that session, and then this element, if you look at, you see right now, you see, this one is being selected. You can see that people scroll with it. So you have to style for people like that who do that. All right. Otherwise, you might be at the losing end. Look at something. I want the background color to be black, and then I want the color. You catch like we are just switching sides. Okay, color yellow. Save it. Yeah. So just like that, let's add some transition to the btn so it applies to all of them. Transition of 0.5, 0.4 seconds. Let me just have a look in the chat. Let me see if we have people joining in. And whoa, where am I? I'm at the wrong place. All right. Oh, guys, thank you so much. You are from, somebody's asking me. I'm from Ghana. That is where Oh, I can't even type where I am from. All right. So thank you so much, guys. For let's continue. All right. Now let's look at this. Okay. I want to also with the neutral one. Let me just copy all of this. Control C and then paste it here. Let's change the yellow. So hold Control and D to select the same yellow downwards. I'll change this to neutral, and then when we hover this, I want the background color to be color black, and I want the color, but the color should be color white. All right, so let's save it, and then you can see we have this. But I want the border to also apply here. I don't want this font, this one to look bigger than this one. All right, so what can I do? I can have border of 2 pixels. Control C, and then apply it to the BTN and save it. So now they all look the same. Is that not it? Once again, I don't want the yellow to have a black border around it. So I'll just change this one to transparent, and then I'll save it. So you see, now they all look the same. They are siblings. Just that this one has a transparent border, this one doesn't. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I can even make it nicer if I when you hover the yellow one, I can make the black border to be yellow, so we have something nice. So like so, yeah, there's some yellow around it. I mean, it's nice. Okay, so now we have almost all the elements that we need done. But there's one more element. We need to make our grid. We need to create our grid. Okay, because if you look at the design very well, everything seems to be in 2 columns. There's one column here, there's one column here. There's one column, there's one column here. There's one column here, there's one column here. Everything is happening in columns. So let's try and create that one out, and then the website will be taking care of itself. We have like 20 minutes more to go, so I'm going to get that one done, and then we take it from there. I promise you that if you have come all the way to this far, you're almost done with this website. You just don't know it yet. All right. Today we might extend to 2 hours so we can get this done. Okay. All right. So let's go upstairs and just say number 6. We are creating columns. All right. And what we did in there was that any place that we said we wanted to have 2 columns, like in the section about, we had a class called 2. Is that not it? Exactly. Great. Good. So I'm going to um, okay, guys, can you see me now? Can you hear me? All right, let's continue. There's a little noise in my background, but please bear with me for today. Okay, so let's go all the way to now. We've stated that we are adding a column here. I'm just going to go right under the buttons, which we are done, which you and I have been able to complete neatly. And I'm going to copy this here, Control C, and then Control V. And I'm going to say columns. All right, I'll say end of columns. And I'm going to just say that do one thing for me. Dot call 2. I want to say display of grid. All right, and I'm going to say grid template columns of 1FR 1FR. So whoop, what's happening? Good, you can see what's happening right here even after just doing that. I'm just saying that display this grid, and how many columns do I need? I need 2 columns. So 1FR is like one fraction of whatever space that you have there. So 1FR and 1FR. If I add one more FR, it's going to make it 3 columns. Yep. So you see 3 columns, but this cannot look good on mobile, right? This cannot look good on mobile. So I'm just going to make it just a simple 1FR, because everything we say we do once again is for what? Mobile. So I'm going to make it like so, and I'm going to say grid template rows. How many rows? The rows should be as many as possible. Okay, and then we want a gap of like say 5 rem. So we want you to put a gap of 5 rem in between stuff. Oh, let me go to where we can see that. So put a gap of, you can see there's a gap of 5 frames. If I make it 50, you see how exaggerated things are. Save it 50. You see there's so much space. Where is it? So much space happening in here. Alright. And I save that. So there's good enough amount of space. Now I'm going to copy this same call to here, and I'm going to go to write some responsive code that should kick in only when you hit a certain viewport. And what viewport do I want? I want that to happen when you get to the desktop mode. So I'm just saying columns in the desktop mode. I came all the way down. So call 2, and I'm going to say grid. I don't have to write display grid, it's already there. So I'm just going to say 1FR and then 1FR. Whoop, I didn't write the 1, and I save that. And then as you can see, nothing is happening. But when I'm going, and I get to the desktop mode, voila, it just does the magic for me. And then as you can see, not the hero section, all the other sections are just what have just kicked in place, looking very nice and neatly done. I promise you that if you take your time to write all of this down, building a website is going to be so easy for you. That's how I do, and that's how my website building process is so easy. So you might come back to it. Let's create one more. I want to create another one called call 1. Alright, so call 1, and I'll say grid template columns of 1FR, and I save it. Let's just leave it there, and I'll say also display grid, and then grid template rows of autumn, and save that. Alright, so now that we have all of that one figured out, let's get into the very hero section here. So the hero section of a website is the first thing that you're going to see at the very top when you land on any page. Let's look at how we can style that. From our design, this is our hero section right here. Let's design it neatly, and then we'll be on our way. Alright, so I'm going to go to my let's minimize this to the corner, low key, and I'm going to say after columns I want 7. I'm just doing my hero section. Alright, yes, I'm just doing this documentations to make things neat for us. Alright, so I'm going to go all the way down. I'm way up. I feel blessed. So hero section. I live a life I deserve. I'm blessed. Fuck ever care for better or worse. Alright, so end of hero section. Yeah. Alright. So we have to select the section. We call this section, where is it? We call this section hero. So I'm copying that, Control C, and I come all the way here and say Control V, and then first things first, I want a background color of white, because the body itself, we said it shouldn't be white, so I want a background color of white, and then I save that. And so once again, you can see there's a transition between these two sides. Okay, and I want a width of 100%. I want a width of 100%, and then I want padding top of, like, let me say 15 rem. Now what I'm doing right now is that I'm putting some space at the top here, because that's what padding is doing, because my navigation will come, which I've not yet done. Okay, so I'm just putting that thing there for the meantime. So let's leave that space for the navigation. Okay, I do that one quickly, and then at the bottom too, padding bottom, I want padding bottom of, let me just say 5 rem, something small there, so you can see there's a small bottom just separating the various sections. Alright guys, let's continue. Now the next thing is that I didn't make these 2 columns. I didn't put 2 columns because this one is quite longer than, it takes more than, it's not equally split on both sides. That's why I didn't apply the call 2 to the hero side. Okay, so let's just set that part up quickly, and then we should be on our way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say dot section hero. Let's look at what we are trying to do. I'm trying to select the hero container, so I'm going to say select the hero container in the section hero. Alright, so section hero dot hero container, like so, and I'm going to say display of grid. Yeah, I'm going to say grid template columns. I'm going to say 1FR. Once again, we build for mobile. We just add a little responsive to make things responsible for the various sites. All right. So grade template rows. I'll just say auto, and then finally the gap. I'll just say, let me just say like 2 rem. Is that not it? And then I save that, and then if you look at the browser, nothing is, so the 2 rem is just creating a little space here. I can actually make it 5 rem, if you want to just create more separation, but I think the 2 rem is okay. All right, now what we can do is that it doesn't really look good on a desktop screen, so we go all the way down to the main width of that, like already discussed. I'll just say section, hero section, so end of hero. Only when I'm typing fast, I'll make a video on how I type so fast. I'll say section hero, and then hero container, and I'm just going to say grade templates columns. I want 2 fr and then 1 fr. All right. Let me see. So if you go to the exactly, so it just did the magic for me. So you can see what we have here. I just said 2 fr and 1 fr. So I portion 2 bits of the space for just the text, and then for the first item, and then I portion 1 bit of the space for the second item. So if you look at the code and if you look at the HTML, you see we have the section where the hero, the text being the first item, for the image being the second item. So you're going to portion 2 bits of the space for the text and then 1 bit of the space for this, and you can see that our website is taking place. I'm just going to our website now. It's taking place. All right, but we have to just start a few things in here, and then we should be fine. So what we have a p tag, we have another p tag here, and then we'll be getting that one done soon. So I'm going all the way back to the top, and I'm going to say section hero, copy that. So this is the h1. Let's start the h1. So font size, I'm going to use the clamp property again, which I explained earlier. I'm going to say let me just refer quickly. I'm going to say the minimum value for this one should be probably like 4 yeah, I'm referring actually, and then the usual value should be 5 viewport width, and then the maximum value should be 6 rem. I don't want it to get too big, so I'm just trying something out here. Look at this. As I'm making this bigger, the font size is getting bigger. It stays where it is. It doesn't get bigger than that, and then it looks good. But the line height, okay guys, you have to adjust the line height to 1.0, just so if one gets on top of the other, it doesn't look too ugly. So I'm just going to say line height of like 1. Save that. Now last time I tried 1 wasn't good. Let's do 1.2. Not 12, 1.2. All right, save that, and then we have this. If I go all the way to a bigger screen, it still looks amazingly good. Let me make this big, and what we have here is great. I'll just put some padding, margin on top and beneath it, and then we should be making some progress. I'm going to say just margin of, let me just say 2 rem, and then 0. Anytime you put in only 2 values, what you do is that you're telling them that put the first value for both top and down and the second value for both left and right. So I'm just going to say 2 rem and then space and then 0. So that kind of does the adjustment by itself. We'll make it 1, and I think that looks great. All right, but then we want to bring these buttons down a little. Okay, but if I apply margin bottom of 5 rem to the p tags, okay, to the p tags here, it's not going to look good because there's one p tag here and there's another p tag here. I want the margin to apply to only this one, not this one as well. So what do? I'm going to do some magic called utilities. So that should have actually come before this. I'm going to call this one 7 of utilities. All right, so the hero section becomes the number 8 in here. Save that. Right after the columns, I create my utilities. Copy. I call this one utilities. So what utilities allow me to do is that instead of having to alright, I'm going to create the first utility called MB-20. Let's make it 50. MB-50. And I'm going to have this margin bottom of 50. Now with this class of MB50, I can apply margin bottom of 50 to any element I want at any point in time. So if I come here to the particular P, this particular text here, paragraph text here, I can just add a class of MB50. Save it. Whoop, that didn't work. Yeah, class of MB50. Oh yeah, good. 5 rem. So the unit. So you can see now I just apply the margin bottom of what 5 rem down here, and that looks great. So I can just use that class, apply it anywhere on the HTML, and it's going to apply a margin bottom of 50 anywhere. I mean, who doesn't want this? But I think this heading here, the heading primary, we should just add a little margin bottom of like 1 rem to that. Just so, okay, let's make it 3. Let's make it 2. Save it. Yeah, that's fine. All right. So we have 3 minutes to 1 hour 30 minutes, and then we'll be wrapping up quickly. So let's look at how our this is good. You look at the original one. You see this is how we have it, and then you look at the design that we have here. I think the margin here is quite a lot. All right. Let me just adjust that one. So I'll create another one. Hold Control Alt Shift down to just repeat the same thing that you have selected downwards. Make this one margin of 2 rem. Yeah, and then let's go back to the HTML. It doesn't really affect until we go to the HTML and apply it. Change it 50 to 20 and then save it. Okay, so now we have the hero section completed and looking great. What we can do next is we can work on the about section. So if you look at the about section, this is what we have here. There's one more thing I have to do. Okay, you look at this, right? You see that this one starts from the top. They're all on the same line, the picture and then the halo. But then the picture kind of comes down, and then the text, the space underneath here doesn't really look good. What I can do is I can go to the HTML, go to the hero container, and say align items of center. And good, now it kind of centered the whole thing here, so it makes it look much nicer. Now let's go to the about section. We'll be done very soon. You'll be shocked. Number 9, about section. Let me just copy this, guys. We just want to be faster. Okay. There's some space here. Another space here. So end of about section, and then yeah, about. All right. So what I'm going to just say dot section about, because that's how we kind of named all our this one. I'm going to put a padding of 10 rem up and then 10 rem bottom. So 2 values means this applies to top and down. So 10 rem up and down. Save that, and you can see it pushed this one down just a little bit. I think 10 rem might not be enough, and also push 10 rem beneath this one as well. Make it 12. Save that, and then let me see. So yeah, kind of looks good. Let's look at the design, and yeah, so we have the border 1 pixel just beneath it right here. Let's kind of add that just so border bottom I want to have 1 pixel. I want to have a solid color, a solid line, and I want to say dark gray. Save that, and we have it there. So our about is done. We didn't even have to write any code to sort this one out. The only problem is that the picture once again looks like it's kind of above. It's not really centered. So what can I do? What can I do? I just have to go to the columns and just say call to. I'll just say align items of also center. Save it, and it kind of aligns things for us neatly. You can see that particular one. It will be good to have some margin, some space in between these two, but I don't want to go and be selecting things ideally, so I'll just go all the way to my about section in here, this particular paragraph, this side. Let me minimize it. This is a particular paragraph. Let me just change, say in here. That's my first name. Save it, and you can see the cookies appearing here. So I know that this particular paragraph, I'll say a class of MB. Let me just say 20. Save it. Oh, no S. MB20S, and there's a little this one. If I make it 50, yeah, it's looking okay there. It's looking okay. I think 15 really looks exaggerated. Okay, so let's just keep it at 20, and then it looks good. It still looks good. We are done with our about section. Let's go to the next one. We have the portfolio. Portfolio, we're just going to style these links. Everything is already in how it ought to be. All right, and we are almost done. We are almost done. Okay, so let's get that one down quickly. Where is that one? Section portfolio. Let me just copy this. I'm not copy that one yet. Okay, so we have utilities. I'm just going to copy that. So right after about section, there's number 10. We have portfolio section. Portfolio. So look at all the code we wrote for the about. Just these few lines of code. Because you can see there's a lot of things that has happened here, and that's all about creating components. All right. So we have. I don't go that route. Control V. I'll just say portfolio section. Say end of portfolio section, and then dot section portfolio. Right, so just say padding 112 rem up and down. Save that, and then it's already taking shape. This looks okay. All right, let's look at the design. What we have. So yeah, we just have to start this thing. Start this one too. There's enough space here, which I'm not really seeing yet. So all I can just do is I'll go back to my HTML. Well, yeah, go back to my HTML. There's the portfolio. There's the heading. Let's add another class of margin bottom of, like, let me just say 20. 20. See, okay, it's still not really separating it. We want separate it. Okay, so say 50. And yeah, that kind of does it for me. And now let's start this once. Okay, minimize this, scroll down. So this is it. What I want to do here is, so we have a class of portfolio for each of the various portfolios, and there's an image in it, and then there's a portfolio or the project name. All right, so we have the project done, so the H3 and then the link. These are the only H3s and the links that we have here, so we can cheat our way around this. Just a section portfolio H3, and then just say display none, like I always do, and then so it means we have actually selected, we've been able to identify that one. I just say font size of like 2.5 rem. Save it. Looking good. Yeah, we are done. Nothing much to do. Okay, what I want to do rather is section portfolio and the link that we have in here. Okay, I know this is not a good. Let me do a good practice. This is a good practice. Oh, there's BTN 10. There's BTN 10 beside it. I didn't even see it. So let's add end arrow, right arrow. Yeah. So let's go to all the way to BTN buttons. Let's add this. It's not the end of buttons. Whoop. Dot BTN 10. I'll say test decoration of none. Save it. Good. We have say font size of like 1.4 rem. Yeah, a little smaller. Want the color to be color blue. Want it to be blue. Want it to be color blue. Save it. And then yeah, when somebody hovers on this, we want it to just move. Control V, we want it on hover, and then the same thing again on focus. We have to do both. I told you guys. So I just say transform, translate. So translate is X and Y value. So I want to just move X. So translate X, capital X. And I just say 5 pixels. Save that. If I hover on that, whoop, it's not moving. It's not moving. It's not moving. It's not moving. Let me just see. Let me add a transition of 0.4 seconds. Save that. Hover on that. Oh, it's still not moving. It's still not moving. So let me see. What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Transform, translate, X. Let me make it 50 pixels. I know. Hold on, maybe. Oh, it's still not moving. Guys, help me troubleshoot this. Okay, dot btn thing and then hover. What is wrong? What is wrong? Let me say display now to see if that kind of works. Okay, so that means we are doing something right. So transform and then translate. Is it I didn't spell it wrong? Let me just clean it. Translate x, yeah, 5 pixels. Sometimes my spelling can let me down, so you guys have to just be careful. Whoop, still not working. Yeah, I think I know why. Display of inline block. Like I said earlier, if you don't do this, you're going to be in a lot of troubles a lot of the time. So now it's moving because it was an inline element. It couldn't listen to things. Alright, so this is it. We are done with the portfolio page. We didn't even have to write that much code, and then we are done. Right. So now up next we have the banner section here, and let's get that one down quickly. That inline element, if you don't tick there, you'll be doing a lot of things and you're wondering why it's not working. Okay, so let's go up all the way. We say number 11, we say banner section. La, 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 la. You see an amount of, let me just clean this. See the amount of code we wrote for the portfolio section. Just a little. But let's add some nice thing to it. Okay, so dot section portfolio. Nope. Dot portfolio. If you select a portfolio and you hover on it, okay, I want the .btn thing to do something. So I'll just say display of none. Let me see. So can you see what's happening here? No. So when you hover on each portfolio, I want the color of the button to turn to green. So you see, it's changing to green. I think let me get red. See, it's changing to red. Look at the button, it changes to red. All right, so exactly that. I want it to be I think I should maintain the red, and I should add a transform and a translate x of say 5 pixels, and then save that. So now it moves. I think 5 pixels is not really a lot. Let's make it 10. Yeah, let's go back to the buttons. Make this one to 10 as well. So if you come here, it just it makes you feel like something is interacting with something just a little. Back to section banner. So end of section banner. So for the banner, to section banner, I just say padding of 7 rem up and down. Save that. Where's that? Okay, yeah. I want a background color. I think the background color was a little different from in the design. Take a look at it again. Copy that. Control C. Back to my code. And then Control V. Save that. Right, we are getting there. I want the color to be white. Yeah, that's good. But we want this color to be yellow, and we want a little space in between. I'm not going to stress myself. I'm just going to go all the way to the section banner, like here. So right after the H1, I'm going to add a class of MB20, put the space in between there, and then with here, the P, I'm going to add a class of yellow text. Save that. I know you're wondering what that does. Let's go to the typography. Just anywhere we want to be able to add anywhere we want to have a yellow text, we can just add that class, and then it will just we can just add that color, and then that is it there. So this is done. We are done with this page. But you realize one thing here. I don't really want this text to spread all the way to the right side. Here. I want to be able to stop somewhere in the middle, right? So I'm just going to go back all the way here once again. Section banner. Copy that. Control V. Yep. Control B. Control V rather. And then I want the H1. And in this H1, I want to say the max width should be somewhere around, let me see, like 600 pixels, right? Let me try that and see. Save that, and yeah, 600 might be too small, so I'll make it like, let me see, whoop whoop, 700. Let's just make it 700. Save that, and then that works. We are done with that section. Up next, we are the testimonials, and then we are almost done. Once again, we have the systems already there, so it's making everything just quite easy for us. So I'm going to go all the way to the top just to keep documentation down. So I'm just going to say top, and I'm going to say testimonial section. Come all the way down, copy. All right. I'm going to say end of section testimonial. All right. So section what? Testimonial. What did I do? This section banner. Save it. So in testimonial, what do we do? It's got section. Testimonial. We have padding of 12 rem up and down, like we did for all of them. Testimonials. Look at my spelling. Good. Thank you very much, Josh. So we have we have the padding of 12 rem up and down, and that is already looking fire. All right, let me look at the design again. Okay, so what we have to do is get into the designing of this card, and my main thing. All right, so don't worry, guys. I got you covered. I'm going to go to the HTML. Look at the testimonial here. There's a core, but this is a testimonial. What we are trying to style right here. All right. So I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to say dot testimonial, and I'm going to say, let me make it just a little bit smaller. First of all, I want the width on this to be 100%. I want the padding on this to be like, let me say 2 rem. Save that. So I'm right now put some padding on it, but you don't really see. I'm going to say a background color of red. Save that. So this for each of the testimonials, right? There's one thing I have to do. So you see that we have 2 columns for the testimonials, and we have two columns here. So in the call 2, we have the first line of testimonials, which is this first line here, as you can see right here, and then we also have the second line, which is this one that you can also see right here. But what are we doing different? If this is the first line, in the first line I've placed in a grid of core 1 to list every item in one column, right? So let me just come back to where the core 1. Let's core 1. It should be columns. Okay, yeah, core 1, and I want a gap in here to be like 5 rem or so. I just realized that when I was looking at it, there was no space before the core 1. There was no space. They're kind of stuck together, so it wasn't really looking great. So I just put a gap of 5 rem in between, and then we are okay to go. Now let's get back to styling this ugly looking thing now. So I'm going to go all the way down to where I was, and then I want a border radius of like 2 rem. Save that, and then we are almost there. The picture is making the thing look very ugly. I'm going to take the background color off it for the meantime, and let me work on the picture immediately. So in the testimonial, is the testimonial. All right, there's something called testimonial image. That's where the image and the name sit side to side here. Okay, so that is my next focus right now. So the testimonial image. Let me work on that quickly. So I'm going to copy everything in here. Control C, Control V, and I'll say dot testimonial image. I'll say display of flex. What that does is that it makes the item stand side by side to each other. Flex items, right? We can change the direction and all, but for now let's just keep that flex here. and I'm going to say align items. I want to really do this. I want to align items of what center. Save that, and you can see now the name used to be at the top, now it's in the middle of that. And then justify items, well, let's leave it the way it is. I don't want to put it space between, but this image is looking not how it's supposed to be. What I want to do, I want to make the image small. I mean, it should keep its particular size. I don't want it to be expanding past a certain limit. So what am I going to do now? I'm going to just say testimonial image, copy all of this, Control C, here, Control V, and then I'm going to say IMG because I'm trying to target the one particular image in there. I have width of like, let me say, 100 pixels. Save that, and now we are getting very close. We're almost done. But I see what's happening here, guys. You can see that when at Bansa, because it is flex, it has listed items, one item here, one item here, one item here, and I don't want that. All right, so this is a testimonial image. It has listed each of them 1 2 3, so 1 2 3 like that, and I don't want that. What can I do different? So what I can do different is I'll just do a div, and then in this div I'm going to shift Control X and place this one in here and save it. So now it treats this one as one item and this one as what? As the other item. But once again, I think I'll appreciate some margin beside the image. Okay, so I'll just say height of auto. Now say margin right of like what? 1 rem. Save that. 1 rem is kind of small. Let me make it 2 rem. Save that, and that is looking great. But you know, it's not applying to all the other areas because the previous code is there. And as a guy who wants things done fast, I'll just copy this div, Control C, go to the next one, paste it on this, open this one up, go here, paste it in this, come here, paste it in this. I designed this so that we can actually learn for this section, and then we are almost there. I'll go back to my testimonial. I'm going to add a box shadow of, so the first value is the X value, so 0 pixels. The next value is the Y value, so I'm going to say 0.2 rem. The next value is the is it size or blur, one of them, so I'm going to say 1 rem, and then let me just say black. So you can see we have some shadows, ugly looking shadows just behind the thing. We want to change this to RGB, and I want to change it to somewhere here. Save that. So you can see the shadow looking right, looking neatly behind it. I just think it's too visible as it stands. So I'll just change this to like 0.15. Save it, and then well, it's not looking bad. It's not looking bad, guys. It's not looking bad. Let me just make this 0.5. Save it. Yeah, so it's looking much more conservative. We are getting there. Once again, this is the design, and once again, we are seeing this in the browser. But I need some margin just beneath this. All right. So what I can do is that, because the hero image is just right, I can say margin top of like, say, let me see what, 3 rem. Save that. Yeah, and then we are almost there. I think that looks great. So we have amazing cards right here, and we didn't really write a lot of code to make that one happen. What will I do different? Everything looks like they are all in order, but in the design, one looks to be a little bit off. Okay, a little bit off. So let's get a way to make one actually a little bit off. How am I going to achieve that? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to apply margin somewhere. I'm going to apply the margin where? Okay, so watch something. This is one of the first, this is the second column, and then this, so first column, second column, first column, second column. What if I just apply the margin to the first column? I just got my work done. It's easy for me. So I just have to apply a margin top. And how am I going to apply that? I'm going to create a utility for that particular item. So I go to my utilities, and I create empty. Okay, empty for margin top, and I'll change this to margin top. Save that, go here, and then apply to the first one. I say class of empty 50. Save that, come into my browser, and then you can see it has clearly done the nice job that it was supposed to do for me. I didn't really have to stress so much. And that brings me to the end of this. The last thing for me to do is my footer. Let me quickly run through this, guys. Just hold on. I have the footer, and then I have, so I'm going to say section footer. If you have any question, put it in the comment section below. I'll look at them and probably even make videos to solve all this one. So end of footer, right? First of all, so how did I name it? I called it section footer. All right, dot section footer. All right, and I'm going to have here background color. I don't know the color I used in the design. Okay, so that's pure black. 000. Save it. Let's open this. Yeah, you already see the magic happening in there. But if that's the case, then the color has to be color white. Color white. Save that. Whoop, we are getting there. This image is the one making things look ugly, but I promise you, you're almost done. Then I also apply columns in there. So we have core 2, so it's already taking its way. So we have dot what footer image for the first one, and then there's what, let me give it this one a class of footer button, like that. All right, so I come in here, say section footer image, and then finally my img, and I want a width of just 150 pixels. It will quickly behave. Well, it's still looking big, except I didn't select it. Footer what? Yep, footer img. Yeah, and save. Oh, save that, and then it's quickly behaving right there. So if that's the case, then I want some padding. I want a padding of like 5 rem at the top, 0 at the right, and then 2 rem at the bottom. Save that. Why does it keep going down there? Alright, so we are almost done. It's looking good, but there are a few things. I think there are some social media links somewhere. Oh yeah, that was where I left off last time I was doing it. I'll just take it off. Save it. But when you're on a bigger screen like so, the button is coming here, and I actually want the button to go the other way around. What can I do about this? Let me search for that. There's a CSS property called flex align self. So there's a align self property that we use. You can use it to align an item to the stretch, center, start, flex, end, whatever the name is. All right. So I think for what we have here, to make it come to the far end, I would first of all have to go to a bigger screen. So the responsive screen, I'm going to go down all the way to where I write my responsive code, which is I want a desktop screen, and I'm going to say section footer, and I'm going to say dot footer button, and I'm going to say align self end, and let me see what happened. Whoop. So you see what happened? It aligned itself this way, so it shouldn't be aligned. It should probably be justify, and then yeah, it just justified itself towards the right side of it. And that is pretty much it. Let's put this button in the middle. How can I create that? How can I make that happen? I have to put this button in the middle here. I don't want to go and write plenty lines of code. I want a shortcut here. What can I do, guys? I want more space on top of down of this. Let me just go up the section banner. I'll probably make it 10 rem up and down, more space up and down. And how do I center this? I'm going to do 2 things. I'm just going to go to my utilities. and I'm going to create a utility called .test center, and here I say test align of center. That's number one. Now remember that this button here, we have a display of inline block on it earlier. Alright, so inline block elements, they react to test align depending on what the parent has on it. So if the parent has a test align of center, the inline element is going to automatically receive test align of center. So let me show you something. So right now it's not particularly in the center, right? First of all, I'll go to the section testimonial. Where is it? There is it. The button is here. So that means if we apply this, it comes right after the call too. If I apply the class of MB50, I'm already creating a gap. If I put this button in a div, I'll know use shortcut in a div with a class of test center, is going to center itself because now it's an inline element, and then the parent is saying align test center, so it automatically respond, except you've particularly written on it that do not align center, which it will not obey. So that kind of does it, and then we are done. The navigation I'll push to the next week's video. We'll do the navigation with just a few lines of JavaScript, then we'll post this for free on Netlify, and then we'll be good to go. Guys, I've really enjoyed this, and then also the next week I'm going to add those fancy blurry things that you see at in the various sections here, and if I do get enough time, I will style these buttons for you neatly, and then we'll be good to go. But for far, I think we've done a lot. Just a few lines of CSS and just less than 2 hours. All right. Drop a like on this video if you learned anything. If you don't really understand anything, just take your time, rewatch this video again. I know you're going to get so much from it. I promise you that. Okay, and thank you so much for sticking with me throughout the whole video. I appreciate this. I'm going to catch you in the very next video. Peace.